Good evening and welcome to another edition of Sports This. I'm your host, Carl Dubs Cutliff. My co-host apparently got a dose of the chikungunya. I told him he needed to put dreadlocks on because Rasta don't get chikungunya kind of stuff. You know, they don't get no pigs. What do you call it? What is it with the pig? Swine flu and chikungunya and them kind of stuff. We don't catch that pause on the ball, so I hope you're listening. I think you need to start growing your dreads, okay? But in the studios with me, guys, if you're just checking in, I have no other than my main man, Pico Pickering right here. He's going to be talking some horse racing. Of course, you guys know the races are coming up. Is this weekend or next weekend?
Next weekend.
Next weekend. So we're going to be at the track, and we have 6 exciting races for you guys. So we're just getting started. If you're just checking in with us, and if you're on the World Wide Web, www.jtvlive.net, log on to the Sports This. You can catch us live. Our telephone number is on the screen if you want to join us. Just want to say a shout out to my boys in the HMP. I know if you guys always log in every weekday, and to all my kids on the bus, my dog child and my Jocelyn Gideons. You know, I'm sending a shout out to you. But as we're going to get started right now, we're into horse racing. Pico, welcome to the show.
You guys could find me in a crab hole. once you're talking horses, you're
gonna be here.
But it's good to be here.
It's
always a pleasure to be here.
Good to have you. I'm expecting another young man. I hope that he shows up also.
Okay.
He has interest in being a commentator and learning the ropes of the horse racing.
The ropes of the horses.
So let's get at it. We have big races coming up. We have new horses on the track, and there's a lot of talk.
It's a lot of talk. Certainly is a lot of talk. And Majestic Express is the talk.
That's right.
Because since Tuesday when, he run, there's always the comments and the opinion.
That's right.
You would say, we always the blame game, so to speak. But then since then, he went to St. Croix, and what he did in the force in St. Damas more recently, he's been the talk of the town.
Of course. It's another... How should you say? We got a race clip from
the new kid on the block.
That's right. We have a race clip coming up from Majestic Express. I think it's the one in St. Thomas. So you guys take a look at this and let us know your thoughts. Like I said, the numbers are on the screen. I think my producer could take it away.
And the conference of the starting gate. There it goes. It's Midas Touch. Here is Midas Touch rushing to the front. Here comes Majestic Express. Flying to the front end. There goes Majestic Express, now winning up by 2. Immediately he's flying up the stretch. There goes Majestic Express. Right there, Halo Midas Touch and break up the game. As they exit the back stretch for the first time. It is all Majestic Express. But here come back Halo's Midas Touch. Break up the game is very close to the pace only to the 2. As they turn into the top of the stretch. Majestic Express trying to slow the pace. But here come Halo's Midas Touch on the outside. The quarter is 24 and 5. It is Majestic Express. He's just cooling on the front end. The jockey have a tight hold. Right there running second Halo Midas Touch. Break up the game and right there the pace. It's going to be a good one. As they hit the clubhouse turn. It is Majestic Express. Right there break up the game. And the outside once again. Halo's Midas Touch. But it's still Majestic Express in 48 and 2. It is making the backstretch. It is still Majestic Express. Here come break up the game. Break up the game is coming after him. Halo's Midas Touch. The 3 horses now are sandwiching Majestic Express. It is Majestic Express. As they hit the deep part of the gully, he's telling them, put on your running shoes. There it goes. Majestic Express in 111 and 4. He opened up by 2 lengths. He's toying with the competition. And then Majestic Express, as he turned the top of the stretch, it is all Majestic Express. And there's a game race for second between Halo's Midas Touch and break of the game. But it's all Majestic Express. This is a big and straight way to Tatola. Majestic Express, impressive, on the wrap. He is for real. Majestic Express, break up the game. Halo's Midas Touch. Tatola have another.
As you can see from wire to wire, no threat at all. Tell me, Pico, what's your thought?
A walk in the pack.
A walk
in the pack. If you look at the race, when they bust on top, for the duration of the race, as yet the jockey has asked the horse to run. It was basically a hand ride. When they break and they hit the top of the stretch for the first time, and they bond together. Break up the game,
right?
And the other horse They crowded him, and they were all bunched when they went to the what we call the turn. Until then, the jockey was still looking for competition. They went down the back stretch. They came after him, and whenever they come, he just let out a notch, and he's yet to ask that horse to run. He stand up literally around the track, and that's what we call a hand ride. So it was like a walk in the pack.
So are you saying that the new kid on the block is something to be reckoned with?
Well, the new kid on the block is for real. It's for real. From that race, if you're looking at that race, it's real. Because if you go back to the August 2 race, August Tuesday race, the horse was coming up quite a long layoff. So it's fair to say, I mean, people will have their opinion. But if you look at it, as we said, we could point fingers as to why he didn't perform as he did in this race, the previous race in St. Thomas. And of course, we know what he did in St. Croix. But it tells you, let's be honest, the horse was not race fit, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, I talk a lot about track bias. Mm-hmm. You could see this horse want to stretch out. Mm-hmm. So with our small in the tight turns, it didn't do him any good for a first time after a long layoff. It didn't suit him.
Right.
So he was just in there for what we'll call a walkout, because trainers will do that. They would, after a long layoff, based on the competition, they want to see their horse where he's at in turn. Because, look, walkout is not going to do it all. It depends on the competition.
But again, yet to see anything from this horse.
Well, and here we're speaking about Virgin Island races, and we have 3 different racetracks. We got the smaller one with the tighter turns. St. Thomas is the 5/8, and then of course across the pond, St. Croix is the bigger one.
Where you stretch out.
So I think they did the right thing by taking that horse to St. Croix and let him stretch out. So by taking him to St. Croix, whatever the distance was, I think it was a mile and a 16 thereabout. Okay, and he was able to stretch out. So that did him just. And what he did in the race we just looked at, you could see, because like I said, it was a walk in the pack, because the jockey is yet to ask him to run. Throughout the duration of the race, he's yet to ask him to run. So
it's like a breeze.
It was a breeze.
But let me ask you, coming from St. Croix right back into St. Thomas, probably like a week or 2 weeks apart, what are your thoughts on
that? Well,
the
crux of the matter is this. It's because of that long layoff. Because after August Tuesday, and then he needed to run. Because from my understanding, he didn't run prior to those 3 consecutive races. That then he went to St. Croix. But that way he was able to stretch out. So now he's getting race fit, so to speak.
Right.
And now when he come back to St. Thomas, because remember, Break Up the Game was the one who defeated him in the Premier's Cup.
Right.
Coming off of the pace, because it was 2 of them up there, duking it out together.
Right.
You were saying go toe to toe.
Right.
But now Break Up the Game was in the same race back in St. Thomas, and he's yet to see front. So that's a testimony to the condition of this horse and the quality of the horse.
Now we have 6 races coming up this race day. I know the big race, the big talk is the one between Majestic Express and Uptown.
Of course, Uptown.
And of course, what are your thoughts on Uptown going up against Majestic?
Well, the thing about Uptown, because he himself had quite a layoff, but of course, his versatility that he displayed on August Tuesday, although it was a sprint, but he wasted no time. Again, there was opinions with respect to the horse that he ran again. Was it Kanamayan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Who is since then have gone on to St. Thomas and break a track record. So he too is fit, because remember that those 2 horses are stable mate.
Right.
So they were coming out of Miami for quite some time. So it goes to show that even when these horses are coming out of the States, they have to acclimatize, they have to adapt to different surface, but at the same time, race fit is the key. And of course, there was if you recall, there was a claim of foul in that race. But go back to the question that you're asking. The horse break on top, so that's telling you he has a lot of speed.
Yes.
But before he hit the turn, where if you look at it objectively, that the jockey he had the rail, so he should have forced Uptown to go wide. That's race riding.
Right.
That's race riding.
Right.
But then he cut the corner. Is of the opinion that He cut it sharply. The jockey had to pick up. But at the same time, before the turn to go up the back stretch, he was already he had already put some distance between him and Kanavayan. So that said, the fact of the matter is now that Kanavayan has run in St. Thomas and break a track record.
Right.
Uptown, we know what he's capable of doing. We know what he did. But at the same time, he didn't have no track record in those efforts, those wins that he had over in St. Thomas and St. Croix. The competition was there. So now you got these two.
Are you saying that he doesn't have any track records? Because he does.
No, I'm not. I'm saying he have track record.
Right, but
not in those distances that we are speaking about.
Good.
So the fact of the matter is now we know who Upton is. He came. Everybody wanted to see how he was going to perform after that long layoff, and of course he showed us what he make of. It's like he didn't lose an arm.
My thing is, when I look at the races from from the parade races from St. Thomas compared to how he ran and how he came back and ran and broke a track record, I think he did. After
this is Kanavayan.
Yes, I'm talking about Uptown.
Yeah.
Uptown came back after, and I think he ran a track record also. I'm
not quite sure about this distance.
Right, I think it was a sprint. It was a sprint. I think about five or so.
5 or 6. Okay, fine.
Where he did a track record. So that just goes to show that he's race ready. Also,
he didn't lose. Nothing.
Nothing.
He lost nothing. He didn't lose a step, so to speak. Okay, so whoever is going to come up in this case, according to the race card we have here, we haven't run it down as yet. But we're talking about specifically the big races.
Right.
Okay? We're talking about the big boys.
Right.
Okay? So it's Majestic. It's Kanavayan. It's really Uptown. And who else is in there?
You have
Apollo Sky, who ran in St. Thomas recently as well. Yes. And of course, he showed his color as well.
Right.
So all the 8 classes horses, they're right there. When they compete against each other, okay, there's going to be a winner. But at the same time, when they come up against other horses, they're performing so exceptionally well, they tell you that they're race ready.
Yes.
And that's the key. And that's what the fans need to know.
So my question to you is now, should we be expecting a record breaking on this race based on all 3 horses?
Well, obviously, because based
on what we just saw.
Based on just what we just saw.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is that these horses here, although they all running the same race, in the race over in St. Thomas and even in St. Croix to some degree, based on the time, because time is a guide.
Right.
But when you're threatening a record or you break a record or you run past a record, it's still you can't take anything for granted.
That's right.
They're race ready. That's the one thing that they're race ready. So depends on how many horses in the race, because again, our track is a half mile. And with the tight turns, everybody gonna want front.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So some gonna go, and those from behind gonna push, because they ain't gonna leave no room.
So it's gonna be a faster pace race.
Most definitely.
Okay.
That's what it's gonna be all about. Based on the time that we hear these horses,
that's right,
is compiling. So it's gonna be out of the gate. They're gonna be race ready. Okay. So that's what we should expect, and that's to be expected from the big horses.
Now, folks, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the up-and-coming races that's supposed to be going on next week. We have the 3 fastest or 4 fastest horses is going to be, and the Virgin Islands is going to be up against each other. So before we get back to what's going on, we're going to take a small break and we'll be with a word from our sponsors and be right back. Stick and stay.
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.
Welcome back, folks. If you're just joining us, again, our topic this evening is horse racing, and I just want to say, I feel bad for my co-host, Paul on the ball. He came down with a epidemic of what you call the chikungunya. And as I said, I test him. I keep telling them, these kind of diseases and stuff that's going on is only for bald head men and if you are dread like me, Paul, like I tell you, we don't, unless it's something out of the sea, we ain't gonna catch it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to come back to your roots. You know what I'm saying? But in the studio with us now, we have a young man who is very much interested in horse racing and the skill of commentating and the horse racing. I have in the studio with me also Mr. Antonio Stout. Mr. Antonio Stout, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir.
I know it's your first time here, and I know you show keen interest in horse racing and what it has to offer. Now, let me ask you before we get back into it, Pico. I mean, what got you inspired into horse racing?
Well, I haven't went to horse racing here till the last horse race we had for the first time, and it was very exciting, and I saw a lot of people out. You know, you see people excited over the horses running. You see them very happy to see horses that are winning, and some horses I didn't know, but the way in seeing them and seeing how they perform, it excited me into loving horse more than the way I
wanted to
do.
be a part of it.
Yeah.
No, I would tell you the best way to find out about the horses is to be on the track.
Yeah,
You know,
I noticed that.
Yeah, once you get down there, you know, you get familiar with the trainers, you get familiar with the horses and stuff like that. Who is who when it comes to horses? And the next best thing, like I said, I have the pioneer of horses. Anything you need to know about the bloodline and who they come from and stuff like that, this is the man right here. That's why I have him on the show with me when I'm talking horse racing, because I don't think there's nobody out there around here that knows horse racing like this gentleman does. So I think you're in the right area.
I mean, I'll be bothering you a lot.
No,
I welcome the challenge, and look forward to assisting you the best way I could.
Now we have, according to the schedule, we have 6 races, projected races for this race day. I think the race day is going to be on the 5th of October. Usual time, I think, start probably 1 o'clock. Stand to be corrected if I'm not. But I think in the first race we're looking at I'll buy it. That's they're debuting the first race.
I'll buy.
I'll buy.
I'll buy.
And then we have Tormento. He's no stranger.
No, not at all.
Good Boy Daddy again. He's no stranger.
Regular guy.
Market to Win, Power 10, and True Essence. Those are horses that we have seen.
Yeah,
before.
those are the horses that we have seen. They run a Class D.
Right.
And they're the first race of the day.
Right. And then we going to race 2 where we have Sin Marriage Atras.
Sin Mara Atras.
Okay, good.
In Spanish.
I told you, that's the man.
You guys don't.
Starship Titan, Appealing Sun, and Warrior Cove.
And that's a 7 furlong between Class C and D horses. Some of these horses here have been running against each other. Appealing Sun is out of St. Damas, so is Warrior's Cove. But these horses are met, on several occasions. They tend to beat up on each other according to the weight and the equipment changes.
And this is Class C, you said?
That's Class C and D horses.
Now in race 3 we have Mia Homer.
Miss Homer.
Okay.
Southern Dawn,
Yes.
Selena Soman, and Pop Perfect. That's Paul Horse. He's coming out of St. Croix.
That's who?
Paul, your boy. Chicken Guinea.
Yes. Mr. Paul, I didn't know you are debuting yourself, but that is good.
And that's going to be 6.5 furlongs for Class B and C horses. These are fillies and mares. These are the female horses.
Yes.
Okay, fillies and mares.
Yes. Race 4.
Race 4.
No stranger to us.
No stranger. There's going to be a my Class C horses. There's going to be between Bye, Fort Pyramid, and Twisted Dream out of St. Damas. He's been dropping in class, so he should outclass these horses. But like everything else, is a race. It's a race.
When it's your day, it's your day. Now this is a big race, race 5.
The 7 furlong affair.
Yes.
And it's between Really Uptown, Majestic Express, and Apollo Sky.
And that's the one we've been talking about.
That's the one
we
we've
haven't
been
said
talking
much about Apollo Sky. I mean, how do you look at Apollo Sky?
Well, hear this. Accordingly, as we've been saying earlier, the last time this horse ran in St. Thomas, he also was messing with track record. And he's a newcomer. I think this is only his 2nd race here in the Virgin Islands. I stand to be corrected.
Right.
But he show a lot of promise. And again, like you said, now, once you take them to the biggest track, the track with a longer stretch,
they get a chance.
Then these horses gets a chance to perform and stretch out.
That's what it used to
be.
Yes.
Exactly. They've been used to this stateside. So once they get here now and they could stretch out on those different tracks, different ball game altogether. So look for some good some good stuff
Well,
from Apollo Sky as
Well,
well.
we have a clip of Apollo Sky that we're gonna show. So you guys just take a look at this one, and when we get back, you let us know about this this race. Apollo Sky. Let's go.
They all in. The flag is up. It is now racing time. And they come from another starting gate. That's Apollo Sky went to his knees a bit, but he dropped right to the lead. There goes Apollo Sky, and the outside there come Trading Secrets. In between horses is still unbroken. Up the back stretch they go for the first time. It's a speed duel. Alongside the rail, Apollo Sky glued to the outside. Here comes Trading Secret. And the upper four line back to still unbroken. It is still Apollo Sky in front by half a length. As they turn into the top of the stretch for the first time. Down the stretch they come. It is Apollo Sky alongside the rail. Here comes Trading Secret in 24 flat. I give a Trinity back to still unbroken, but Apollo Sky is right there with Trinity Secret and Palo Rowing Grandstand. The two PVI horses are locked on as they kick the top of the stand. Apollo Sky is still there in front. Trinity Secret is second. Still unbroken close to now the 3.5. Up the back to the swing. The half is 45-1. It is still Apollo Sky. Apollo Sky is from by 2. Trinity Secret is asking for everything. And here comes still unbroken. But it's still Apollo Sky. The jockey is tight. There goes Apollo Sky by 3. Right there running second is Trading Secret. And they kick the deep part of the gully. It is Apollo Sky. Apollo Sky is setting 109-4. He's blistering. He's opening up now by 5. Trading Secret and still unbroken. As he turns the top of the stretch. It is all Apollo Sky. Apollo Sky by 6. The jockey asking for now. And there he goes. It is all Apollo Sky by 8. Apollo Sky by 10. You can count the lengths to the finishing line. This is a good one. This is Apollo Sky by 12.
Sky all the way out there by
We
himself.
call it by the length of the stretch. There is something interesting in that race, right? The fraction, the early fraction, he ran 24. That's kind of slow for a fast track like St. Thomas.
Right.
And then he picked it up, he went 45. That's quick.
Yes.
So what I tell you now is that the jockey asks him to start running.
Right.
And once he asks him and he urged him. Now at the top of the stretch, you'll notice he hit him a couple of whips.
Yes.
What he was asking him to do is change leads. So once he changed leads, okay, sometimes the horses will be on the wrong lead.
Right.
Yeah.
What we call the wrong lead, a rail that we don't think he should be on. But then he would want to do it to make him comfort himself. But the jockey gonna ask him to change the lead because he's not getting the reaction from him that he wants. So top of the stretch, he asked him to change the lead, and then you see he hit him a couple of
And
licks,
that's when he started to move.
and then he started to pull away.
Now, coming out of the gate boss is in front, Sprinter, holding that rail.
He break on top,
Is that what we're looking for from all three horses?
all three horses,
So,
with a shot at this
but
one now.
from what I just saw, coming out of the gate, he held on to that rail and he's holding on to that front end. So,
Because the competition.
but you know, Uptown is one of those horses. You know,
Well, that's a different ball game
Exactly.
altogether.
Exactly.
There was no Uptown in this
Good,
race.
okay, good.
So obviously, if he come out,
it's gonna be a different story.
ain't like he gonna break on top Uptown, and even if he break, he's not gonna have that comfort zone that he gonna just sit there and watch out because Uptown gonna go and say, "Well, catch me if you could," as the announcer indicated.
Now we have three almost, I could say almost even.
Similar type horses,
Right.
because of the track. Everybody gonna want the front. They're gonna want the front.
So the person that gets the front wins the race.
Is the not necessarily, but at the same time, because there are three speed horses, some could be rated, some could come off the pace, but at the same time, if you break on top, that doesn't guarantee you're going to win. However, knowing the competition and knowing the quality of the horse, but let's take Uptown for an example. He can do anything. He can rate.
We said that.
because-
He could go to the
okay.
front.
Right.
So at the same time now, they're going to play like what we call a cat and mouse game.
There you go.
It's going to be a cat and mouse. So if let's say all of them, because they come out of the gate even, and the jockey them going to be eyeballing each other to see, well, who want the lead or who don't want the lead. And of course, depends on who go to the lead, then they're going to lock on to each other because I'm not going to let you out of my sight.
Exactly.
Based on,
So it's going to be close.
it's going to be close. That you don't know for sure. And if you could keep up, then they're going to go around the track that way, what we call toe-to-toe, head-to-head, and so on. But we know who Uptown is. So these horses, they're going to try not to let them out at their sight.
Right.
Okay? So if you could keep up, fine. But we know what he's capable of doing. So if you go back to Majestic Express, based on he ran a lot more comfortable than Apollo Sky, because the jockey even didn't ask him. Right. He went wrong in the track, but like a morning walk in the park.
But my thing is with Apollo Sky, I don't know if Apollo Sky was trying to make a statement of because basically he held off on his horse until when he really needed him to go.
Well, it's because of the competition. I guess he didn't have the kind of competition like Majestic had, or what Uptown is accustomed to.
Right.
So now he's trying to make a statement to himself based on the competition that he had.
But you can see he's a speedster.
Oh yeah, but I pointed out to you, he ran 24 seconds.
Right.
That's slow.
Right, but came back in 45.
He came back and he picked it up.
So he shows that he has the potential.
He has the potential, but running at 24 on the first furlong.
You know it's not going to be like that coming up this
most likely, because you ain't going to be close to Uptown.
Exactly.
If you're running 24 seconds in the first furlong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, folks, if you're just joining us with us, the numbers on the screen could call 541-7541 if you want to ask a question, you want to make a comment. We're actually talking about the races that's coming up on the 5th of October, where we have 6 exciting races. We're just going through the races a bit. We're now on race 5, which is the main race, and we're going to run through the last race in a minute. But if you guys want to get in on the discussion, I know we have in the studio with us now Antonio. I mean, judging from what you just heard and what you just see, I mean, what is your take?
Well, my take from it is that I want to see the next race.
You want to see
what I saw the last time, it's something that really interested me.
Hey, Mr. Antonio, what are you going to have to do if you listen to that nonsense? That's your interest.
Okay, yeah. I have a caller on line. Caller, go ahead, please, on the sports desk.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, good night.
Yeah, what's up?
All right, talk to me.
All right, one little correction. Canaveyan, he set the record on St. Croix, not St. Thomas.
Oh, that's what it was. I figured that much.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. With the young gentleman there,
yes.
I wish him all the best. It's my first love, well, one of my first love. And I'm going to throw something out for Pickering and Carl, and maybe the young man could comment. It's my observation that Tortola over the years, we use Rashidi Clemens as an announcer, we use Bruce Smith in the back. Rashidi from St. Croix, Bruce Smith from St. Thomas. And I know we had the guy, Mr. Hodge, I think, went away. Then we had Archie.
Yes.
And what it is, I'm a little disappointed over the years that I don't know if it should be the association. I think you have to groom your own. It was a little embarrassing on race day, the first race, no announcers or no announcer. So if the guy has interest, I will hope somebody will work with him and train him. And like Carl was saying, if you want to, you got to be on the track, know the horses, and we're going to stand out knowing the colors and knowing the stables. That's going to be easy. And the good thing about Tortola, it's not 8 days like St. Croix. Most of the time, it's going to be 3 or 4 horses. So it's not complex. I mean, I think I could do it, but some of you guys know what I do on race day. I'd rather be on the ground with my camera. So I will hope, I don't know why I actually quit, but I will hope that we will get our own announcer. No disrespect against Rush and Bruce, I respect. I love them guys. I know them guys well. So give me a take, and then I have one more question.
Caller, before you go, can you give me the distance for the track record in St. Croix with Canaveyan?
It was a 5.
Oh, it was 5. And you run it in what?
I don't remember the time.
50,
it was about 50.
58?
Yeah, about
58 or 57 thereabout?
I think around 56 or 7.
Oh, 56, okay. All right. Because that would be caller.
That track itself was so hard, so sometimes records, you got to analyze them based on the track, based on the horses in the race, that kind of thing.
But caller,
no disrespect to the horse good, but that track was very fast that day.
And of course, Carla, that would be a 1 ton for St. Croix for the 5 furlong. Is that correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And you have I don't know, the 6 is out of shoot. I don't remember whether the start of 5. But
I think, yeah, the 5 would be a little more.
Ain't a lot of tones.
No, it would be start more or less on the back stretch.
Yeah.
Okay, you said, okay, with the question you're asking about athlete Hodge and myself who used to do these things, we used to do it off of instinct, okay? That's because we the tracks in New York, Belmont, Aqueduct, where we reside. So most of the stuff was off of instinct. Then you go down to Chimaduro Bogolo, who was doing it for quite some time. Now, we're not here because in the interest of time to say what took place from what didn't happen. But at the same time, you're making a good point as to why. And those are the things that we need to sit down and talk about, because it will take up all night here to try to explain you as the reason why Apley is not doing it, why I'm not doing it, or Archie. So I'm glad you raised the point. It's a good time for Mr. Stout here, so he could understand. And of course, after the air, I'll bring him up to speed as to what is required to come up to Rashidi quality.
I have another caller that's trying to call in. Caller, if you just give me a call back. Thanks a lot, my brother.
I just have another question, but
yeah, okay.
Okay, my brother. Thanks.
Sounds good.
No, I think what you need to find out too, I guess my good fellow here might be able to help you, is that you hear them talk about the furlongs and the time between the different furlongs. I think this is our caller that's trying to get in. See if he's there. Good evening, you're on the sports desk. Hello?
hello, good night.
Yes, you're on the sports desk. Go ahead.
Yes, hello, good night.
Good night. Good night.
Yes, I didn't hear the race. I don't like you guys to call over the race card.
We will do that for you again.
And I want to know if James is better than yours running.
I don't think Penn have a house in these races.
He's not on the card.
No, he's not on the card we have.
But I'll remember, this is a proposed card.
Yeah, so we're not. It's not concrete as yet.
It's not official. Okay, he's there.
You got that?
Okay, so you have rates up down on the postcard?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do in the 5th race.
In the main race.
Okay, we'll call them back for you.
Okay.
All right.
Alright.
Okay, man. Okay, let's stay with you, Mr. Stuff.
Yes.
Based on the caller, we know who that is.
Right.
What he's pointing out to you. Again, we professional now, and the infrastructure is not there, so you're gonna have to deal with it accordingly. What he's calling about the number and the thing. Now in big racing, we're gonna familiarize yourself with these things. The number on all the tracks.
Yeah.
For where I go. For an example, number 1 gonna be a red saddle cloth.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2 might be yellow. Number 3 might be blue.
Green.
So you got to in green and so on and so on and so on. So you got to equate the color with the number of the horse. Not necessarily because all the horses they look alike, but you could confuse it. But you're looking, you see, look behind you. You see the saddle cloths.
Yeah, they have race colors. Yeah.
They're different. So what you're gonna do now? You're gonna take, for an example, Bye might be wearing a red saddle cloth. This one might be red and blue and yellow. Okay. So those are now how you're gonna, because it gotta be quick.
Yes.
That's how we're gonna be able to differentiate between the horse and what's that. Because remember, this is 6 races here with 6. You got it right there. 6 trees are 18 different horses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So don't let that confuse you.
No.
So but you have to familiarize yourself
Well, then
with it.
that's what you're there for.
As I tell you got a little bit of journalistic prudence with you. But I'll tell you how to do it in the interest of time. How you get familiarize yourself.
No,
with it.
but like I said, folks, if you just joined us, it's all horse racing that we're talking. We're going to take a small break and come right back so we can wrap up and let you guys. We're going to call out the race card for you again, let you guys know. If you still want to call in, we still have time. You can give us a call right after this word from our sponsors.
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.
Welcome back, folks. Again, if you're just joining us, we're on a wrap-up stage of horse racing. But before we get back into the races, I just want to announce that the 40-plus games, we're going to be starting the first week in October. The second week in October, actually. So if you guys are still interested in getting your rosters, basketball, softball, and netball, if you guys are still interested in participating, please contact me. The number is on the screen. I can get your rosters out to you. Please get your teams ready. You have to be 40 plus in softball and basketball, and you can be any age in netball if you want to participate. So if you guys are interested, it's the second week in October. That's when we're going to be starting. So please contact me if you want to. Now, as we wrap up, guys, we're back into the race card.
Okay, let's run the race card. I'm
Yes,
quickly
go
in the
ahead.
interest of time. Race number 1 is 6.5 furlongs for Class D horses. It's Albai making his debut. Tormento, Albai, he's making his debut. Let me go over that for you. Tormento, Good Boy Daddy, Mark It a Win, Power 10, and True Essence. That's a full gate for race number 1, and of course is a proposed schedule subject to changes and scratches. Race number 2, 7 furlong for Class C and D horses. Sin Mira Atras, that's Spanish. Starship, Titan, Appealing Sun, and Warriors Cove. That's race number 2. That's a 4-horse field. Race number 3, 6.5 furlong for Class B and C horses. These are the females, mares and fillies. We got 4 horses in this race. Miss Homer, Southern Dawn, Selena Soman, and Pa Perfect making his debut out of St. Croix. Then race number 4, it's a mile affair between Class C horses. Bye, Ford Pyramid, and Twisted Dream out of St. Thomas. Of course, he's been around, dropping down in some class. Race number 5, 7 furlong, Class A horses, the big one with all the trash talking. Really Uptown, Majestic Express, and Apollo Sky. Those are the feature race of the day between Really Uptown, Majestic Express, and Apollo Sky. Then the final race of the day, this is a 7 furlong for Class A and B horses. Trading Secrets, Halos Midas Touch, and Kanawaya. Okay, so that's the field for
The 5th.
the 5th
of
of October.
Yes.
Okay.
Six exciting races. We're going to be here there to watch it live. We're hoping that you get your chance to debut. I know you like my good fellow tell you, he's challenging you into the right direction where you can get your information. Like I said, it's all. It should come easy to you. If you like what you say you want to do, it should come easy. I mean, just listen to the different commentators, and you might pick up 1 or 2 things where you can adapt. But everybody still has their own style.
I'll have my own,
And then, of course, you need to get a pair of binoculars.
Yes, so
So you can bring the horses closer
Exactly.
to you. But don't get confused, because like you say, it's going to be a start. And like I said, me and Hodge and them boys used to do it off of instinct, because we've been around the tracks and we listen, of course. You say you could.
Well, me as a young blood, me might learn
Good,
that
yeah.
Like
And
I
then
said,
you could practice amongst yourself. You go to races, then you follow them, and you do your own thing. And
no, again, the best way to learn the horses is, affiliate yourself with the track and the trainers, and you can ask questions. I think they're gonna, they'll open up to you and let you know what to expect. How horses run, what to expect around this curve. Whether they're breezing, whether there's a little. I mean, you see how we operate when we go on a track. It's basically the same thing you would have to do.
I will have to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, of course.
You're certainly going to have to. And of course, one of the things you do, if you listen to Rashidi, they call it for every furlong. They give you a different call.
Yeah.
So that's why they could tell you about the fractions. 24, 45,
Yes, you're familiar
110,
Yes.
depends on the distance of the race and so on.
It gives you
But
idea
those
how
are
fast the
a
horse
horse is going. But as I tell you, all I could say it on television, like I would tell him, when we playing ball, if you want to step up your game, you glue to the television, because that's where the professionals are.
I'll
You look them, you sleep them, you eat them. That's what you used to do.
I'm not a fact. You're allowed to that. I mean, like I said, when I need to learn anything about the races, this is the man I told you.
Then I'll have to choose television.
And he has a godson that I think.
Donovan. Yeah, he's a
if you
boss.
link with him, he's another analyst the same way.
If you find him, you
he's
don't need
picking up where he left off.
If you find him, you don't need me.
Yeah. Trust me.
Akeem Donovan.
Yeah, trust me. Akeem is up and up on when it comes to
you find
Akeem and
Akeem.
horses and stuff like that.
You find Akeem, you don't need me.
Yes.
Trust me. Because I don't have to go for him for him. He's so into it. Like the big races, he has a lot of time. Them boy glued to the same 69. They follow them. And watch that. So when I need some information, I go to him as well.
Well,
He keep me up to date. Okay.
Since the last
But it's a good thought so that we could as a caller.
As you can see, Rashidi came from St. Croix. My man came from St. Thomas. So chances are, if you adapt your own style and it's good, they might be able to pull you.
Everybody got their own style.
You might be able to get the same opportunity.
And then in some cases, then you will go out cross the St. Thomas and St. Croix. You'll be guest of those guys and call in the races because every track is different.
Yes.
And it's, nice to get a voice and you could equate it with the person.
We don't want you to be shy out there.
No, not at all. You can't be shy. Like you say, make a lot of fool of yourself. So you continue to do that with a lot of humor. But Rashidi is good because he's a radio personality. I'm not.
No,
we do.
I have
sports.
a question for you. They said for the young man, what's his reading skills because he has to be able to pronounce them horse names.
Okay.
So,
well, that is good.
It's gonna come. Once you familiarize yourself, it's gonna come. Because me myself, sometimes the names are so I have to ask my Spanish compadre over here.
It depends.
Because the names are they change. You might read it one way and it's not. That's what it is. So
well, that's a good point because see, what the caller is telling you is that you have to have some journalistic experience with what's not, and that's where it comes from. Okay, so that's you're on the right track. And whatever that person is asking, that mean they're gonna be
they'll be watching.
They're gonna be watching you. They're gonna be listening, and they're gonna be rating to you. And of course, the comments will be there.
Yeah.
Now, folks,
good point.
Now, folks, again, we've boiled along to the end of the show. We're glad that you guys have tuned in, and for the callers that call in, we appreciate your call. For the comments that were made, we appreciate those. Once again, we look forward to seeing my good young man here, Mr. Antonio Stout. He'll be debuting himself on the track. So if you have strange voice or they're calling the horses, just give him a big up and let him know, it's okay to, make a little mistake every now and then. Yeah. He'll add some humor to it. But I just want to thank you guys for tuning in once again. For those folks who want to be a part of the 40-plus games, we're going to be starting the second week in October. Please get your teams together, get in shape, because the league is going to start. We need to get your rosters so you can get your T-shirts so we can get this league up and running. For my good buddy Paul on the ball, like I say, you got to change that hairstyle thing, man. Come dreadlocks.
God bless him.
we miss you, Paul. I have to say good night to your mom because she called in to find out if he was okay. Mom, I hope you take good care of Paul. Paul, like I said, you're missed. But the rest of the man, I'm going to take over for you this time. Now, on that note, guys, I want to say thank you again. Shout outs to my Jocelyn Gideon crew and my dog, Shiloh C. Carroll's Bay. Good night to you guys and have a good one.
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.